Hello, so today we're going to be putting together the Fall Cozy Vibes card. And I went ahead and arranged everything the way it came in the SVG file. So it's pretty self-explanatory, but I did want to at least make a video so that just in case there's any questions, because some layers fit exactly like they are, you can have the option of using foam or just making it flat just to give it a little bit of dimension. The materials that I have out are some tacky glue, scissors, and I also have some foam squares and some foam dots. And the reason for the small dots is because if you want to add dimensionality to some of the leaves are kind of small. So I've started off with everything kind of layered, and we also have a sentiment card. And I've included 3 of these with the file. So I use sketch pens for this, so that's optional. You could print it out and cut. You can actually cut with scissors, or you can cut with your silhouette machine. You can actually use this sketch. The font is Orlina Light font that I created, and with that font is very thin, so it won't show gaps or spaces in between the letters, and it's actually small enough to fill. So I just use the ink pens to actually fill it up. Nothing really thick for it. Okay, so we're going to set this to the side for now. And I have a bone file just to kind of make my creases a little good. So let me use my bone file. Or you can just use a popsicle stick. So I'm going to go ahead and fold that. And just kind of use this to crease things in a little evenly. And I can start with this envelope now. I'm going to make sure my textured side is the side that I want displayed. Crease that really nicely. And actually, I'm kind of glad I'm doing this first, because in that way the glue will have time to set. Usually you leave the envelope for last, but it's kind of nice to do it first because the glue will have time to set. All right, so I'm going to glue. First, I'll just add a little dot here so I'll know where I want to end in that glue. And I just add a little here, not a lot. You don't have to go crazy with the glue. I want it to dry quickly. And then I'll just grab these corners a little bit. Just a little dot at the corners. So not too much glue. I don't want it oozing out and making a mess. So I'm going to get a little bit more in these corners. Just a little. And I'm actually going to get this corner a little bit as well. And although this dries clear, I'm trying not to get any on the paper. And just crease that down nicely. Okay, that's done. So now I'm just going to set the envelope to the side. And now we can work on this piece. I probably shouldn't have folded it first, but it lays pretty flat. I'm going to go ahead and add that first layer to it. So I'm just going to go ahead and take off those first layers, and I see that I want to go ahead and match that up nicely. We're just going to use a little glue here as well. Don't need too much. As you see, I'm just going really light with the glue. And this is kind of an older glue bottle, so it's not coming out as fast, which is nice. I still don't want it coming up, so just enough. Just about like that. And I have like this little, couple of these little edges here, if you can kind of see that little bump out. I'm gonna match it up to that, kind of center it, and gently press here. So now here's where I do want to add dimension. So I'll grab my squares. And just kind of place it in the corners and in the center. I'm also going to add one here. Just get those centers. But this little area here, I wanted to add. And this is the reason why I have this hook, is just so that I could peel off these little paper backing. Okay, so let's line this up nicely. I always like how the shadows kind of fall in really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and move this over. And I'm going to glue the house on, or the log cabin. And just very delicate here with the glue too, because we have all these window panes and open panels. It's not going to take much to actually stick. So I'm just dabbing, little dabs, barely squeezing the bottle. and just try my best to center. Actually using the smokestack. And I can press with this popsicle stick. So I don't get too many fingerprints. My oils for my fingers on. Nice, nice, nice. And I'm going to actually add more foam squares. And I try to get the corners first. And I go back to the center. Just so that I know I'm kind of putting this in the center. Now these are starting to get a little narrow and a little more narrow for the squares. So I'm just going to turn the square a little vertically because the borders are like getting a little narrow. And I'm also going to add one for the house, and this is where I'm just going to add a dot here. For the smokestack. Since it's much smaller than the squares, or I could just cut the square. And we could actually add another dot here so that this could stand out a little more, which I think I'll do. Just here at the tip, add another little dot. And line it up. Okay, nice. Just a gentle press. You could even, if you want to, just make sure you're lining it. The popsicle stick is nice. So just press down. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, so then now we have more of the orange coming in. So this is where you can decide where you want the leaves. So you can have the leaves go over the border or under the border. You could actually just leave this flat or you can add more dimension to it. I think I'm going to leave it flat and then just add dimension to the leaves. But there's definitely nothing wrong with adding more more foam squares to it. So I'm just gonna glue around the border. I don't know, as I was thinking, I don't know how well my border, let me see how this fits in nicely. Okay. Yeah, it was off a little bit, so I just shifted things. Nice. So here's where I have cozy. I'm just going to add this here, the border around. So take note, I'm just going to use my leaves, the loose leaves, after everything's put together, or the border in the orange section. So I didn't have to add glue to the cozy part, which I'm going to wipe off. I'm just going to make extra glue where I don't need it, because that's actually a part where I will add. I'm going to take one of these little squares and just scrape some of this glue off. I didn't add too much of it, so shouldn't be too hard. But here's where I'm going to add a piece of foam. Add one here, one here. Let me see how this is working out. I don't know, because I'm going to have this border, so nope. Okay, this is live, and I'm deciding, no, I don't want that. So I just want the border to just fit on. And now my glue is dry. All right, so this is what we'll do. Apply more glue. So just at the base here. Don't need that much. Okay, got it. So now we just try to find the center here. Okay. So what I did was, I thought I could actually add foam here, but it would have made this piece, this little section here, poke out. I probably could have added 2 small dots here, and you can for sure, but it's fine. It won't sink in. It'll have enough structure to it. This is going to dry clear. But now what I am going to do is add the cozy. I won't add I won't add foam tape here, but I will add it to the leaves that I put on top. So I'm glad I made the video, because it could be a little confusing, but you can still play around with where you want the dimensions to go. That looks really nice. Very three-dimensional. Very nice. So now let's add some leaves, and I'm going to add dots, something small. And this little tool comes in handy when trying to peel off the backing of the foam dots. Now I can position these how I want to stack them just to give me a little preview. And what I think I'm going to do is actually, I want to just add this here because I want it to overlap. I'm just going to add glue here because I just want the foam, this orange leaf foam, to just overlap a little bit like this. And again, you definitely have flexibility with colors that you choose and with how you want these leaves to overlap, but you can definitely follow with how I'm doing this now. Try to use my fingernail, not too bad, but it's a little easier with the sharp edge. This gives it a little bit more dimension. Nice, very nice. I love this card. It came out very nice. So we had it folded. So now I can add the sentiment. Now I wonder if it's something I should have done beforehand. You may want to add the sentiment before you add all of the dimension to the card. I'm going to add just a little glue to the edges. A little in the center, a little bit more right here. And I'm going to try to find the center here, make it even. And I don't want to add foam here, just that way this closes a little better. Very nice card. I really like this card. Okay, here we go. And like I mentioned before, there are 3 sentiments included with the card. And here's the envelope that's included. Definitely a lot of room and space. I'm trying not to let anything lift up or pucker up. So it definitely has a lot of poof, so there you have it. The Fall Cozy Vibes card. Thanks for watching.